Okay, we're up on the second floor. So we come up, we see we have a large ceiling fan in the ceiling there, and we'll show you that when we get up into the attic. And we come through. So this was our stairwell and our staircase from downstairs. We come up behind the staircase. There's a large room there. We see a Murray electrical panel. We do see some smoke detectors in that. We see a lot of loose and missing ceiling tiles. We do have emergency lighting and directional lighting for emergencies. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this floor kind of counterclockwise here. We come, we see first our faculty restroom. In a lot of areas I've tried some of these and we've had water on one side but not the other. And it's never consistent whether it's the hot or cold side. We have a lot of cracking in the tile here, and you can actually, doesn't show up on video so well, but you can see how the floor has sunk right around the toilet. We've tried shaking the toilet, it's tight, so it could have been that somebody over tightened the toilet going down, or they didn't set it right, or some effect like that. But I would have to pull those floors done. A lot of these toilets we're finding they're dried out in that. Coming through here we have some type of line going up through the ceiling in that. Coming down into this vanity, and we see the expandable, the flexible drains on here. Those are all wrong, and that is a water line going up, being fed up to somewhere, where I don't know. And again, we have more cracked tiles in that through this bathroom. We come into what is our, I guess, kids' bathroom, shared bathroom. It's a shared restroom. I don't know what this was here. Perhaps some type of door control. I've seen that in a few places. So we have an outlet here, no GFCI protection. We do have lights, and we have a switch here that's unknown what it does. So we see we have a lower sink, a higher sink. We have some children's toilets. And a couple of adult toilets. We have one over here that's been running since we got here. And that, we have a drinking fountain. Seems funny they made everything else low, except for the drinking fountain, and then the hand dryer, unless they're using it to dry hair. I haven't been able to get this vent window open, but it appears that both sides, the glass block window in here and the glass block window in the faculty restroom are blocked off on the other side, so we're not getting any natural light in. I don't seem to be able to get that open. Try one more time. So don't know what's behind there. I'll have to reference it with Dave's pictures from the roof.
All right, let's take a quick break and then figure out what mechanical on that and how we're going to do this. Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm just going to get the second floor.
I did a quick video walkthrough also, but go ahead.
Okay. So then...
we'll be in the kitchen.
All right. So it appears we had a couple of different things. It looks like we might have had a fireplace here at one time. We have a bit of a hearth. We have a radiator pipe coming up. Then we also have a gas line coming up on that side. We also have what appears to be plumbing roughed in the sink there. Now what's kind of nice is this is the room they called the billing DA and IT room. They've been nice enough to leave these floor plans throughout the building, and so we've taken pictures of those so you can at least have the whole layout. Come here and we look out to our flat roof. We did a short video out there already. If we look around here, the windows are in pretty poor condition actually. You'll see when we do the walk in the attic though, where this vent here just kind of goes up into the attic space, and you'll see it's filled with silverware, which is interesting. And you can see they ran a lot of Cat 5 and Cat 6 cable around, which punched holes through walls. So we seem to have all these, what were, I guess, counseling rooms in session and available. So as we look, these were all little offices, some much different than others. What's kind of interesting here is this radiator actually runs right through the wall to the other room. So we see they've done some type of patching of these ceiling tiles too, and I'm not sure what that amounted to. And this looks like they had something coming out of an electrical box up there. They're all under the floor in the attic though, so unless we get somewhat invasive, we're not going to find that. We come back through here, another one of our session rooms, and you see our radiator coming through the wall there. So this wall is dividing some window openings really. And we see they put plexiglass here in a couple of rooms. I don't know why we have blocks of 2x4 out there, unless maybe they put window air conditioning units in at some point. We have several of these session rooms throughout the second floor here. Now, interesting in this one is that our floor is higher, so they've laid another floor over a floor. So that's of interest. All of our windows too, a lot of them have locks and have chain to keep them from opening too far. So it's interesting. It's definitely was meant to keep people in. That we've seen for sure. So all meant to keep people in. Now we see our roof over our front entrance there. So it is just a shingled roof. But we see not only a lot of debris there, but we see they've tried tarring some problems in the brick there. We see the, looks like they probably bent the copper flashing up on the left side here and then tried to push it back down, so we're probably getting water in there. And we saw in that corner under all those leaves a current leak. And you can see on this side they put some new aluminum flashing in. So why the discrepancy, I don't know. And then of course you see from the trees we have quite a bit of debris that falls onto these roofs. So the second floor is unusual in that it's got a lot of surface wiring. So I'm guessing they divided a lot of rooms up here from its original footprint in that. And it was easier to do surface wiring than it was to change originals and put these in. So again, we get into more session rooms. We do have a emergency lighting. This is working, and I guess we have the directional lighting. Some of them are out. We're going to continue on our tour here. Again, you see this is another one they divided. They divided it right, again, between a couple of windows. Our wooden floors creak like heck. You can see here they've weaved in a whole new section of flooring. Actually, a long time ago, because the old section is still pretty beat up in that, but we had something damaging the floor here at some point, but hard to quite tell what's going on. And then it's interesting because we have different connections to some of our radiators up here. As you see, this one's been replaced with copper here, and then some of our boxes are surface mounted, but the conduit's in the wall. So it's always hard to quite figure out. Again though, and it looks like they have names on this plexiglass in terms of, I guess, whose room it went to, which counselor or something. And again, it looks more designed to keep people from getting out. On a second floor, that's a good thing, I guess. Or maybe that was designed so they could put a window unit in there, because it looked like a small window unit would fit with that open, and then they had to have something to close it off. So again, when we look through, you know, we've got a lot of fluorescent lighting in that. So we come out, and when you see patches and stuff like that. It's almost like that wall maybe used to go to there and they filled in, or they took something out. It's all very difficult to tell. You see our flooring changing directions. We're going to stay in a counterclockwise here and come through this room. Somewhat interesting, and that looks like it's really interesting. This wall. Oh, we got a big crack through it, but it makes me suspect that this was once a bathroom. But I don't really find any plumbing in the wall in that. If they did take it out, they covered it up really good. Might be something back behind here. It's hard to say. This wall is a drywall wall put up, so this has been altered to make kind of two smaller sections. And while we find 3-prong outlets in a lot of places, we still find a lot of all 2-prong. And then what's really kind of strange is this is another window that something has tried to claw its way out. And we're finding that as a theme throughout the place. So it makes you kind of wonder what type of counseling they did here. So you come across here, it's our stairway going back downstairs, our second stairway. We come in a small room here. It's not much bigger than a closet. We'll do this after this floor, but this goes up to our attic, which is interesting in and of itself. If you come down this corridor, we see our fire escape. We get a little better look of our roof over there and whatnot. And we come in here, and again, this is another session room. Some strange things about this one. A, the way this radiator is plumbed. Why it's not going in at the bottom on one side and coming out the bottom on the other side, I don't know. Secondly, the radiator's got one leg sitting on the pipe coming across the floor, and the rest of the radiator doesn't even touch the floor. So that's pretty strange. The other thing of interest here is this is a two-way mirror, or a one-way mirror. I don't know, what do you call it? Two-way, one-way? So people can sit in here and observe what's going on in this room. Now what's kind of interesting is that the floor finish changes dramatically in the doorway, which makes me think maybe, maybe this was carpeted at one time or whatever, but it doesn't look like they made any provision to safeguard these windows, and these are probably the only double hungs, now that I think about it. But again, we see we have the mirror here. And it's all kind of strange. So this is an available do not disturb. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. So we come back through, we have this radiator up here. We look, we can see our damaged eaves from here that we saw on the outside and that. Come back around until we make our full loop before we go in the attic. See another alarm bell here. This room seems to have gotten the mother of the IT and phone lines in that. But again, you see damaged windows taped shut. Not quite sure. And this has got the safety glass on it, so even breaking it out would be difficult with the wire in there. We have very loose boards and a lot of movement in the floorboards here. This was one of our radiators. We turned this, or one of our thermostats for the boilers. Everything up here, this section is radiator. We've turned it way down because we have one motor, one pump that's really bad. And again, we have here, it's interesting, right in the center of the room is the damage to the floor. But again, just another service. Another counseling room. I'm not sure what they're calling it. I think these might have been screwed from the outside. We found that in a couple of cases. But again, something is trying to get out these windows. They're chewed up. And you see our soffit damage there. So we come back around.
Where does this panel say that it takes a double breaker?
Excuse me.
It doesn't. It makes it a double.
And here they are, they're opening up the Murray panel, taking a look at it here. We'll let them do that evaluation. We come into another room here. So this is another kind of office area. We got obscured glass looking out to there. We can come out here. This is our little flat section that we saw before. Now, on all the radiators, they made these kind of bench seats. This one's a little interesting that something's keeping it up here. Oh, it looks like it's just sitting on the bleeder valve. So Hank, I'm kind of attributing these windows with the plexiglass to window air conditioner units. Several of them have this with the cutout.
But that one is actually open from the top. An animal can get in there.
Oh, I agree with that, but I'm just saying, I wanted to point out several of these rooms have this, well, this one's actually just got, well, got a little bit of plexiglass. But that I think, in the window, the ones I found, they look like they probably took window air conditioning units.
Like 6 double taps in that panel?
And none marked on the label, right?
No, the panel is not rated for the cheater breakers, and they got 4 cheater breakers in there. And then they got pointed head screws and the panel cover on. So be careful putting the screws in, Dave.
Yep. Sometimes I only put the tops back in for those. So that's our, once around here, we'll go do a quick attic